Hello, magical people of the internet. I am Jen, and welcome to my vlog, I Never Thought I Would, where we talk about doing things we never thought we would do and the incredible, unexpected places that they can lead us. I have the most fantastic guest today. I can't even tell you how excited I am to welcome Brianne Davis. She is an actress, a writer, a producer, a director. You have probably seen her in Lucifer. You have seen her in True Blood. You've seen her in Jarhead with Jake Gyllenhaal. She is freaking incredible, and she's here to talk with us today. Hi, Brianne.
Hi, I love that opening. That was amazing. How
Awesome.
are you?
I am so good. I'm happy that it's spring, the weather's starting to get nice, things are starting to feel a little more sunshiny and hopeful in life these days. How about you?
I I agree. I feel like lighter, fresher, like new, renewed. So I'm totally with you, and I'm so excited to talk to you today. I'm just like beaming with joy.
Okay, so you have lived a pretty incredible life where you have done tons of things that you never thought you would do. And I know we could sit here for like weeks on end talking about all the things that you've done in your life. But for today, can you please pick one? Let us know what it is. And where did it lead you?
Okay, yes, this is so hard because I have done things I've never thought I was going to do. But I think the biggest one right now for me is I never thought I was going to come out in public and say I was a recovered sex and love addict. I never
Wow.
dreamed of saying those words out loud, and my co stars and my acquaintances and people around the world know this about me because I was going to go to my deathbed, just being in my world of recovery and being of service to people in my flaw community. And now it is out in the open.
Okay, this is huge because this is
Yeah.
so brave. And it's interesting because I've lived in LA for years, you've been in Hollywood for years. There's not really a stigma about drug and alcohol addiction. People
No,
have no
it's very
problem.
talked about. Yeah.
People have no problem talking about that. But as a woman in
Hmm.
the public eye, to come out and talk about being a sex and love addict, especially in a climate when we are still shamed for our sexuality, we're shamed for being promiscuous, we're shamed for what we wear, we're shamed for what we don't wear. I can't believe that you had the balls, or as Betty White would say,
Vagina.
the
The
vagina,
vagina.
exactly, to do that
Yeah.
publicly and have like your family and your parents and like your, you know, every neighbors, everybody know, like what prompted you, how, why, what?
Yeah, okay, first of all, again, I have to say I never imagined, but it really hit me at a decade of recovery when I got that 10-year chip. It's this gold chip and it was sitting in my hand. And I just watched in my community all these younger generations, 20-year-olds, 21-year-olds coming in and having such a hard time of connecting and intimacy and their sexuality and the internet and what society puts on them and the availability of porn and how it's destroying our humanity and our communications, everything. So all this was happening and the Me Too movement all at the same time. And I was like, wow, it like struck me like we need to open the lines of communication. How deadly, how dangerous this addiction is. Sex and love addiction is the number one addiction that kills people. People are in jail. Suicide. I've had friends commit suicide over their losing their partners or murder. I have someone in jail that I really care about right now that just lost her way in the program, and I just came to this place where I was like, oh, there needs to be a voice. It can't just be a man getting caught cheating on his wife. That's a sex addict. Like, it's all walks of life, every ethnicity. And I just found myself, I feel like it was God or higher power or something that was directing me to be of service bigger than my community. I started talking all over the world, having sponsees all over the world. And then it just like someone asked me to write an article for HuffPost. I did it last year of March and it came out and it got 2 million hits. And I got all these strangers reaching out to me saying, like, I did that. My partner did that. My daughter's like that. My son's like that. And saying how much it helped them. And it just propelled me to keep talking and keep sharing. Yeah, it's crazy.
It's incredible. I am so inspired by you because
Oh,
this is such a private and sometimes shameful
yeah.
addiction that you're recovering from, and especially with the stigma of promiscuity.
The biggest community is the LA, New York, London, Sydney, Australia, but there's meetings in Bali, there's meetings in Dubai, there's meetings everywhere. But the stigma of saying I'm a sex and love addict, people do not want to talk about it. People do not want to share. I struggle with intimacy. I cheat on my partner and I don't know why. I keep swiping left, swiping right, trying to find that white knight, that soulmate to fix me. I keep going back to that unavailable person that doesn't love me. Why do I keep going back to this bad relationship? I mean, the list goes on and on and on, and I got really inspired to be of service to other people than just like the thousands I already help. And I just feel like it's destroying our way of life. And as a woman, when I say I'm a sex and love addict, people are like, ooh, that's hot. And I was like, it is not hot to use people to fill you because that's what we do. We use people to fill us, just like an alcoholic picks up a bottle or a drug addict, shoots heroin. And what really happened is this guy came in and he said, I have 30 years in AA. I could quit heroin, but I can't quit her. And that was just like this light bulb moment for me. Like people are suffering and they don't know that there is a way out.
I have some questions because
Okay, good.
I don't necessarily know a lot about what goes on when you are dealing with that kind of addiction. First of all, how did you even realize that you were suffering from this addiction?
Okay, well, it happened really suddenly. Well, first of all, my pattern, everybody's is different. My pattern is I would get in a relationship and I would fall in love because I loved falling in love. It's like the best high in the world. The butterflies, the first touch, the first kiss, like that is what I craved. And I'd be with someone for a year and a half, and then that goes away. But society doesn't tell us that goes away. Like that's normal. I would think, from the movies, from being an actress, that, the butterflies always have to be there. And it's like, that's not sustainable. So I would then start intriguing and flirting and, just, turning it on outside of my relationship. And I would overlap relationships. And I kept doing that over and over again.
So it's like you're constantly seeking this kind of adrenaline rush that you get,
Yeah.
and like
That
the
high.
dopamine, the endorphins of the feeling of falling in love or being with a partner for the first time when it's super exciting.
Yes.
So basically, as long as the adrenaline sustains you, you're interested. But as soon as the adrenaline rush is gone, you need to find that next fix.
Yeah, because then it's real life. It's real intimacy. It's real falling in love with someone. And I didn't know how to connect my sexuality and love. I always kept connected sexuality to it being a secret or dirty or new and all that stuff. I didn't connect it to like looking into somebody's eyes and feeling connection, and sex is just a part of the relationship. I found that sex should be the whole relationship. And
Okay,
when that would die out, I would be like, wait, this is not what real love looks like.
this is really amazing for me because it's so true
Hmm.
in terms of like, I hate to use the word mundane, but
Boring.
real love is when you find the excitement in that person in the mundane, when you can sit, Sunday morning reading the paper, having a coffee, and look at that person, you know, with sleep in their eyes, whose hair is a mess, and just
Bad breath, not
exactly,
looking their best.
and just look at that person and be like, this is my person,
Yeah.
as and being able to feel vulnerable and being able to connect, as opposed to feeling like it's always almost a performance.
Have it totally right, because it's like the mundane, but I would see the mundane as like, oh, something's wrong here, or
Exactly.
I would be like, is but this I like the mundane, but I can't be sexual. Like that doesn't turn me on. How does the mundane turn
Well,
me
that's
on?
we keep sex in this box in a drawer with a lock
Hidden.
on it, and it's
Yeah, don't
hidden.
talk about
Nobody
it.
talks about it. So I also have a book that's a coming of age book. It's not about sex and love addiction, but it's about a girl coming off of her first heartbreak who's afraid of sex and intimacy.
Well, it's the same thing.
But it's amazing because as young women, we were never privy to any of these discussions.
Yeah.
And the other thing is that really bothers me is we use the word sex a lot. We never use the word sexual health. Like,
Oh, not at
unless we're in
all.
junior high, you know what I mean? Like
No,
after
they're even
junior
taking
high,
no, they're even taking away sexuality sex classes. At least where I'm from in the South, they took them away, so we didn't even discuss it.
I went to
Yeah.
religious school my whole life. We didn't get any information. Like, I learned all my information like in the schoolyard from the other kids.
Well, I learned all my information from movies. I remember, and I say this, the first movie I saw at 6 years old, I saw Romeo and Juliet, and I remember seeing Michael White's butt and being like, "Oh my God, that's a nice butt," at 6. And then the next thought I had, I remember that they got together for 2 days, and they were both willing to die for each other, and it be a secret from their families, and that one of them would drink poison and the other one would stab themselves. So I saw real love as drama, as passion. Someone has to die or be willing to die, and it has to be like hot and dirty and a secret.
And it was not something that was normalized, and it was not modeled that it is part of a healthy life, a healthy lifestyle, a healthy relationship. If any single adult went to the doctor and said, oh, I haven't had a sex drive in X amount of time, or I can't get aroused, or I can't achieve orgasm, whether you're male or female, all of those things are considered medical problems,
Mm. Yeah,
right?
but we don't look at it like that.
There's like us and our lives, and then sex is in the secret box we keep in the locked drawer because it's
Yeah.
detached from us. So it's no surprise that so many young women are having these struggles with love and sex addiction, and especially with the escalation in the availability of internet porn for minors.
I mean, they're saying it's an epidemic, that this next generation, we're going to see the outcome of lack of being able to connect sexuality and intimacy and what real commitment looks like. And it's going to come up because a lot of these younger generations don't know how to have a real relationship with someone.
Well, I was going to say, in the lack of communication that's going on
Mhm.
within the generation as well, because of the texting and the emails and the emojis.
So that's why I came out, because I just saw so many people struggling more and more and more and more. And the meetings were getting bigger. But here's the thing, people don't want to feel pain. And as an addict, I don't want to feel pain. So it's such a huge revolving door in our community that, 10% of the people stick around. I'm an old timer. To have 11 years of sobriety and sex and love addiction is like 40 years in another program. Nobody gets time. So I just felt, as a woman that's in a healthy relationship, I'm married now, which I never thought I was going to be married. I have a kid now. I never thought I was going to have a kid.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah. For me, if you would have known me 11 years ago, to get to the place I am now, where I have a healthy relationship, I talk about sex, I talk about things that I don't want to talk about, I'm married and all that, that I can be of service outside of myself and not just, keep myself safe and unknown and being an actor. I just said, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just going to blow open the doors and say, not just men are sex addicts, and not just women are love addicts. I am a sex and love addict. I know 50% are women and 50% are men. And I'm here to be of service and help get the word out that there is a way to have intimacy and authenticity and have healthy relationships, not just with partners, with my family, with friends. I realized I used even girlfriends in my life to make me feel better. I would use everybody in my life to get me high, to fix me, to give me validation, all that. And it just, we can't do that anymore. We can't look outside of ourselves to get our self-worth. And that is what sex and love addiction has done for me, is given me my self-worth, my self-love. and I say this and I'm very passionate about it. If my husband left me today, if he decided he didn't want to be married to me anymore, I wouldn't be broken. I would be devastated. I love him very much, but he doesn't complete me. He is not my soulmate. The only soulmate is myself. And that is what I'm here to say is there's a way out and to find self-love and self-worth outside, not outside of yourself.
So if there's anybody who's watching this, who's struggling, where
Mhm.
can they go? Where can they find a meeting or get help?
So that's what I loved. First of all, I'd say, if anything I said resonated with you, please go online. Go to Sex and Love Addicts Anonymous. You can type in SLAA, self diagnose 40 questions. There are 40 questions. They're questions like, do you think your life is unbearable if you're not in a relationship? Are you looking for someone trying to fix you? Do you assign magical qualities to others, idealize and pursue them, and then blame them for not fulfilling your fantasies and expectations? Ding, ding, ding. That was me. So you can fill out these 40 questions. And they say if you get more than 5 yeses, it's something you might look into. So I would say do that first. Reach out to me on Instagram. I try to answer all my DMs. I wrote a book about it, Secret Life of a Hollywood Sex and Love Addict, that I'm trying to make it normal, a conversation, not so clinical and academic, that really just spell out the disease in an easy way to interpret. And then I would say, there's Zoom meetings now all over. Type in SLAA, SLAA Zoom meetings, and a virtual meeting list comes up, and you can go to a meeting all over the world any time of the
Thank you so much for that.
day.
And now I do want to get to your book.
Okay, good.
Did the book happen after you decided to start talking about your addiction, after you decided to go public, or were you kind of working on writing a piece before that?
So it's really crazy. A couple months before I wrote that HuffPost article, my husband said, "Hey, there's this writing class." And I was like, "What are you talking about?" And here's another thing I never thought I'd do: write a book. I'm dyslexic. I have ADHD. I'm an actor. I just want you to give me the dialogue. I don't want to be responsible for the dialogue. But he kept mentioning it to me. And I was like, "Leave me alone. I'm an actor. I'm not a writer. Leave me alone." And finally, I said, "Fine, I'll take the course." And I wrote the book a couple months before in 45 days, the first draft. It was like something bigger than me. I just wrote and wrote and wrote. And during the rewrites, I got deeper and deeper and started putting other people's stories in it and dreams I had in my past and all this. And it just became its own thing. So when I wrote it, I actually never wanted to write it, but it's probably one of the best things I've ever done is to put my stuff out there, to be so transparent and to help other people, because it's just crazy that we're all in this together. And I have so many people reaching out to me saying, I mean, my mom called me the other day, and you do not understand. I was raised by a mom that didn't talk about sex. And she said, "I read your book and I now understand your disease. I never understood it before." And she said this, and I just started bawling. She said, "I actually have done some of the things you've done." So and I was crying, and she was like, "I am so proud of you." And she was crying, and then my husband started crying. And it's just like moments like that to share my story and my journey and try to help other people. Because if I can help one person not suffer, one person not like go back to that horrible relationship or cheat on their partner or be in that place of like you want to crawl out of your skin, then I feel like I've done my job.
So is the book an autobiographical account of your addiction, or have you taken liberties, fictionalized? You said you added in some of.
So first it was a memoir, but I kept rewriting and rewriting, and all these other characters started coming in, and then the character turned into somebody not me, and I was like, "Wait, is this who am I writing about?" And I was sitting there listening to Pandora while I was writing, and the song Roxanne came on by the Police. Roxanne, don't have to put
Yeah.
on the red. And I was like, "Oh my God, it's Roxanne. That's her name." So it's a Roma Clef fiction. It's, half memoir, self help, and it's kind of a chick lit, like kind of, it takes you in Hollywood, this actresses see actress first year journey of sex and love addicts recovery, and it's my story, but it's little parts of other people's story, and and
Yeah.
it allowed me to make it fiction. It allowed me to go even deeper and just put it all out there, because I say you'll never know which story is mine and which one is not mine.
And isn't that kind of the fun of
Mhm.
jumping into something like that? Because you start off with yourself and then it evolves into this thing. And you were saying like these characters start coming out and it starts writing itself. It takes on a life
Yeah.
of its own and things that you could have never anticipated.
I
And
mean, I woke up at like 3 a.m. with like, oh my God, this is a scene. And I like run into my room and like type it out. And the characters' names are like cool girl, superstar, tattoo girl, glam girl. So they're all based on real people or
Mhm.
like two people meshed. And I will never tell anybody who the characters are. So it's like
Yep.
real life story. It's just so much fun to bring it to life. And now I'm already written book 2 and I'm in rewrites now. And then there's a third and a fourth book. So it's like this whole other life, this
Amazing.
secret life extravaganza happening. It's
I am
crazy.
so excited for you. This sounds
Thank
freaking
you.
incredible. I can't wait to read the book. I hope all of you out there get the book too. We'll have all the links for you below. I can't thank you enough for taking
Oh, thank
the time to
you.
chat with me today. You are a true trailblazer. You are an inspiration, and I am so grateful for your courage and your strength to go out there and fearlessly put yourself, you
You're gonna
know,
make me cry.
in a really, no, you're putting yourself in a really compromising position because everybody has judgments about women and sex, period.
Yeah.
Especially if you're going to come out and talk about maybe some unsavory decisions you've made in your past.
Oh yeah. It's all out there. It's like
But
all
you
the
are saving lives. I am thanking you on behalf of the young women out there who are struggling, who are confused, and who are suffering.
thank you.
And if anyone out there is struggling, please get the help you need. Go to the Sex and Love Addiction Anonymous website. Reach out to Brianne if you need to. I
Thank
wish you the
you.
biggest success with this book. I know it's going to be a huge success. I can feel it. I have like goosebumps from the title, from your content. You are such a light in this world. And thank you for taking the time to come today.
Oh, well, thank you for having me. It truly means a lot. And I'm so grateful to have these conversations with other powerful women. So I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you. And thank you all out there in the interweb for taking the time to check in with us today. If you are enjoying the content, please like and subscribe. And I'd like to challenge you to do something that you never thought you would do. Let us know what it is in the comments and where it leads you. Thank you and have a beautiful day.